They thought she was just another recruit, quiet, nervous, out of place. But when 5 soldiers blocked her path in the mess hall, the silence that followed wasn't fear, it was calculation. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The air inside the mess hall was heavy with the smell of coffee and gun oil. Trays clattered, boots scraped, laughter rolled through the room like a storm. At a corner table sat a woman no one really knew. Her name tag read Riley. Her uniform was standard issue, nothing special, but her eyes, steady, unmoving, had the kind of calm only seen in people who'd seen war up close. When Private Dawson spilled his drink on her sleeve and smirked, she didn't flinch. When 4 of his friends joined in, surrounding her like a pack, she didn't rise. She simply placed her fork down, wiped her hands and looked up, not with fear, but with a kind of stillness that made even the loudest laughter dim. "Didn't they tell you this table's reserved?" One of them sneered. Riley smiled faintly. "No," she said softly. "But I can move, if you ask politely." The room went quiet. A few nearby soldiers turned to watch. The tension was sharp enough to cut through steel. Dawson leaned closer, his voice dripping with mockery. "Polite, you new recruits think you can order us around?" He grabbed her tray and shoved it aside. The coffee cup tipped, and before it hit the floor, Riley's hand shot out, caught it mid-air, and set it back upright without spilling a drop. The entire table froze. She stood now, slowly, deliberately, every muscle in her body coiled but controlled. "Do you want to try that again?" she asked. Her voice was low, calm, but it carried a weight that pressed on everyone's chest. Something shifted in the air. Outside, wind rattled the flagpole. Inside, no one moved. One of the watching sergeants whispered, "Who is she?" Another muttered, "Transfer from the coast, no record before last month." Riley could feel the eyes on her, but she wasn't here for a fight. She'd promised herself that part of her life was over. But when Dawson's hand twitched toward her collar, instinct took over. In a blur, his wrist was locked. His knees hit the floor, and the next sound anyone heard was his gasp for breath. The other 4 moved, too slow. She pivoted, sidestepped, disarmed one, and pinned another's shoulder with a single precise motion. 15 seconds, 5 men on the ground. No shouting, no wasted movement, just precision, cold, silent, and absolute. The mess hall had gone dead quiet. Then, from the far end of the room, a voice broke the silence. It was the base commander. He'd seen the whole thing. He stepped forward, his tone measured but firm. "At ease, Chief Petty Officer Riley. I think they understand now." The color drained from Dawson's face. "Chief Petty, what?" he stammered. The commander's eyes were unflinching. "You just picked a fight with a Navy SEAL." A ripple of shock spread through the hall. Some soldiers stood, others whispered. Riley said nothing. She simply straightened her jacket, retrieved her tray, and walked toward the door. But just before leaving, she paused, looked back, and said quietly, "Respect isn't given by rank, it's earned by conduct." That night, the same 5 men stayed behind to scrub the mess hall floor. When Riley walked past later, they stood at attention, silent, eyes lowered. She nodded once, then kept walking. Not out of pride, but forgiveness. Because real strength isn't in showing power, it's in choosing when not to use it. Because courage doesn't roar, sometimes, it just stands quietly, and teaches by example. And in that silent mess hall, respect finally found its voice. Before you go, tell me what you would have done in Riley's place. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of courage, kindness, and justice that'll stay with you long after the screen fades to black.